welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. And today we're talking Indiana's own family-style restaurant, The Good Spot.
The Good Spot, yeah. Omar Hasan,
What's
the
up?
owner, creator of it. I'm happy to be here, man.
That's good. You know what? We probably did like 3 takes trying to figure out how to open it up.
We there now, though. We there now.
We're here now. So tell the viewers a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so military, man. 24 years, Navy. I came here first. Navy sent me here for a degree at IUPUI, engineering degree. Went back in as an officer.
Right.
Did 24 years, traveled the world, had a bunch of food, liked what I liked, didn't like what I didn't like. You know what I mean? And I've opened a couple of restaurants. I'm from Flint, so I opened a spot in Flint called Shrimp and More, and kind of just trying to sample everything I liked over the world. Hey, I went to Paris and I like this, so I put that on the menu. I went to Germany and I like this, I put that on the menu. So it kind of did this thing. So, was living in Atlanta here recently. My popcorn shop COVID kind of took its effect on my popcorn shop.
Right.
And we're selling in Walmart. That kind of went to the wayside, so I decided to make my way back here to Nap. Came to Nap August. And I don't know if you know the Fountain Square area, but the Justice Center is down there now. And that area is just hot, man. I'm telling about, it's hot. I mean, they're doing so much development. And I seen this old broken down dive bar that had been closed for like 3 years. The guy had a stroke, left on Friday, never came back.
What?
So all the liquor was in there still. It came with a liquor license, came with a bar, and came with some land. I'm like, man, come on.
Jump on that.
Yeah, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? You can't beat that. So I bought the spot, plan on putting a Band-Aid on it, some little paint, and making it brand new, open it up again, and kind of got into it and realized I had to go ahead and, at least on the inside, tear it down to dirt and bring it back up. So wanted to bring something to the neighborhood, man, that they didn't have. There's no food, like a food desert over there.
Really?
So I thought, you know what? I don't want just a bar that serves liquor. I want a restaurant you can come in and have a drink and have a good time. You know what I mean? So The Good Spot, it's kind of made sense. A good place to drink, a good place to eat. We got games, come in here and play some dominoes, play some spades.
Really? Dominoes?
Last night, man, we had the Qs came through there last night for a birthday party, and they had about 15 dudes in there just throwing bones last night. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah, but you got that, and you also got the older white couple sitting there, vibing to the music and having a good time. So it's a good place.
You know what I like about the place?
What's that?
Everybody, the bartender knows your name.
hey, the modern day Cheers, right?
I was going to sing that song.
Yeah. You got a Norm, this guy named Mr. Akers, man, older 81-year-old cat that come through and get his bottle of wine every twice a week, and we call him Norm. He just, just people like. It's just good people, you know what I mean? That's what you miss nowadays is just good people, man. He's like, look, I ain't trying to. Hey, you come in, chill out. I ain't trying to sell you. I ain't trying to oversell you.
Right.
Hey, tell me the honest opinion on the food. I care how the food looks, how it look. My cooks. Hey, if you can't do it right, I'll get back there and do it myself. You know what I mean?
That's called customer service for real. Definitely customer service.
Yeah.
You know what else I like that I thought was kind of strange? Me and Scott and Edward, we always, my boys, we always hang at the cigar bar. Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing we ask for with our sandwiches that they never have. Mm-hmm. Tater tarts.
Man, I love tater tots, man. I grew up on tater tots.
That's why it's on the menu.
That's why it's on the menu. A lot of stuff, man. I'm telling you. Hey, that's a good thing about owning a restaurant, man, is that, I can be asleep, me and a lady laying up there the next morning, and I'm like, you know what I love to have today? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let's put it on the menu. You know what I mean?
She's probably looking at you like, really? I'm sitting right here and you thinking about menus?
Yeah. Hey, let's put it on the menu. Let's try it. And let's throw it on the board and see how it works. So we have a thing called a Hoosier Daddy, man. It's a burger, massive burger. It's all beef patty, obviously, but it has your fried egg, your hash brown on it, your bacon, your lettuce, tomato. It's a big burger. Right. But I was like, man, what if that's and pickle? Well, what if that's a pizza? Make that into a flatbread.
Yeah.
So, man, I made that thing to a flatbread, man.
Sold out.
Folks was like, come on, man. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, this is hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what I order when I go to Uno's, I'm probably the only one that does this. Order a flatbread pizza but I always tell them to put plenty of ground beef on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm telling you, food is where it's at, man. At the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur by nature, and I do real estate. It's my bread and butter. But I mean, I love good food, and I love good customer service.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it's at. It's not just about you coming in and me making a buck off of you, but I want you to leave there and be like, man, that was a good meal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's where it's at. So.
And there's really not a lot of good customer service restaurants in Indiana. I'll be honest. You have a lot of franchises.
You have a lot of franchises.
But you don't have independently owned restaurants that you feel connected to the owner.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I've traveled the world with the military, but spots that remind me or that I can remember are spots I go to where sometime during my meal, the owners come out and be like, hey, how's everything? You know what I mean?
That makes you feel really good when they do that.
Yeah, like they care, you know what I mean? So I try to go out and be like, hey, what's going on? How everybody doing? Hey, what you need? Hey, if this wasn't right, man, I ain't gonna charge you for it. You know what I mean? I had a cat come through for a Manhattan. We make Manhattans, and they're pretty popular.
Oh my God, don't say that. with real potatoes?
Yeah, real potatoes. We make it nice. So this cat came through. He had a podcast or a YouTube or something, and he came through with his girl, and we made him a Manhattan. And he was just like, they send it back. And I'm like, we barely get nothing sent back. So I'm like, I go out there. I'm like, what's going on, man? And, he was kind of a little upset about, the quality of, the amount of steak that was on it.
Oh, he likes meat.
Yeah, he was like, man, I go to so-and-so, pick a name, place. He sent me a place, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And they got, this much meat on it. And I'm like, man, I got you, man. I'm like, at the end of the day, man, I want you to be happy. You know what I mean? I want you to come in with your girl and be happy. So I went back and made it up for him, and I brought it back out myself, you know what I mean? And he was like, oh, yeah, that's what's up, man. His girl was like, man, ain't many places you could go to, and they'll come out and make it right. I'm like, man, we go make it right for you.
So why Indianapolis? You're from Michigan.
From Flint.
Yeah.
Flint town.
So you a Piston fan?
I mean, I like the Pistons. I'm a Lions fan.
Whatever.
You see them beat up on Kansas City, right?
Whatever. This is cowboy country here. Which I'll be all on that game tonight.
Oh yeah.
So, but why Indianapolis?
So when I was in the military, they sent me here. So I went in and enlisted. And then when I got out, they sent me. I was at UT Austin. And I ended up transferring to going back in the military. They sent me here to IUPUI for an engineering degree. Mm-hmm. And when I was here, man, I kind of like the vibe. It's not Atlanta. It's not a major city where you got a lot of stuff going on, but it's still got enough going on to where it can make you, like, hey, I'm content. I'm not.
What you mean it's not Atlanta? We're better than Atlanta, dog. This is NAP.
It's NAP. You know what I mean? But it's good. I'm investing in the city now, and I'm doing some things, and I'm starting to grow. It's hard to get your footprint in Atlanta, so I still do business in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I own strip malls there, but it's hard to get your footprint there. It's again, it's cliquish. Where here, you meet some good folks. You know what I mean? And I think the folks kind of make Indianapolis.
How important is to the viewers? How important is that footprint, that blueprint?
Man, it's everything.
Especially being a man of color.
Yeah. So for me, man, I've been blessed. I've always owned my property and not rented my properties. So same thing with the restaurant, and I'm trying to grow beyond that. Like I was telling you earlier, off camera, next door I got some land, and so when I bought the place, I was like, look, how do I even make this land something else that it kind of grows that, you know what I mean? Because you want to be a part of the community,
right?
That's important, but you also want to
you want to have some independence and some generational wealth.
Yeah, a short story real quick. My brother, I have a couple brothers. Older brother, when I was out the military, before I went back in as an officer, I got out and went to Austin. That's why I started school there. My brother owned a club called The Spot, DA Spot. And man, this spot used to be jumping. I mean, you go up in there and it was just like wall to wall, fellas, honeys. It was just a hot spot. And he rented it though. He rented it, and the minute it got popular, the guy who owned the spot didn't renew his lease. You know what I mean? He didn't renew his lease and then made it his own spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you see that. They see success, and it's like whether, you kind of lose that.
He got undercut it for real. He didn't even see it.
Yeah, he came back, hey, I'm running to renew my lease. We doing good. And he's like, nah, it ain't an option. You know what I mean? You go ahead, kick rocks. You know what I mean? So that made me think, like, you know what, you got to own. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of times, a vision to,
Right.
you can't always just own outright. But at times, you got to have that vision in mind. Like, look, I'm going to own this little spot eventually and make it my own.
What bad things in your journey happened to you that made you realize that outside of your brother?
Yeah. I mean, that was really it right there is that, we've had I've owned a couple restaurants with family, and you've seen things. We had a spot in Flint called Mama J's for my mom. She was part ownership of that as well. And the guy who owned it died when we were like paying rent, and it was like, hey, they ain't cashing these checks. You know what I mean? We're like, what the, 3-4 months go by, and we like, man. Mm-hmm. So eventually we found out the guy died, and his family came back and had other ideas with the place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They were like, yeah, we doing this and that with it. So we had really no say so. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a matter of long-term vision. You got to kind of, bet on self, see your vision. And a lot of times that vision takes 10 years. A lot of people want that immediate gratification.
Yeah. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
And why do you think, you've been an entrepreneur, you've been in the military, engineer. I mean, you got your shit together. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Where did all this come from? You had good family upbringing. How did all this come about?
Yeah, rough. Flint's rough. You know what I mean? Let me start with that.
Oh, come on, man. I've been to Flint.
Flint's rough. So growing up in Flint, it was rough, man. It was, so I grew up, had a little bout with homelessness for a little bit, you know what I mean? Trying to get trying to be a knucklehead, and, moms and dad not together. And mom's like, look, hey, if you go do it that way, kick rocks, you know what I mean? So I think, if I had to kind of pinpoint it to one point, what made me kind of have some vision to succeed or do more, it was probably the military.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to the military, seeing the world, going over to Africa, going over to, Afghanistan, and sit down with these little kids and talking to them, and like, man, just seeing the potential, and like, man, what's stopping me from doing A, B, and C? You know what I mean? And kind of going with that.
Like when you came back, when you went over there, you was definitely young.
Young, yeah.
What did you bring back that impacted you to know that you remember to this day? Out of all those countries, you looked at one and go, wow, I don't want me to be in that situation. Number two, I don't have to be in that situation because I'm in a situation that I don't have to be there.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. So I went over to Cape Town. I was in Africa. They weren't even on like military travel. It was just on vacation. And me, over there, you sit down with the Africans over there, man, and you think about going back to the motherland and how great it's going to be. But it's something to go over there and see the billboards, and man, and they all Europeans and all this. In your mind, you think, I'm going to Africa. I'm going to be, it's going to be like,
right,
all Africans doing their thing. And I sat down, man, with a brother over there, and he, at the time I owned my popcorn shop. And like I said, we were in Walmart and we were doing our thing, but he was just telling me how they own nothing over there. He's like, man, they want us as a face over here, you know what I mean? And nothing against Europeans or nothing like that, but they want us as a face over here, but we don't own nothing, man. He was like, we over here, I want to say chuckling and jiving, but they over there smiling in your face and serving you at these 5-star restaurants and nice hotels that you staying in, but at the end of the day, man, we don't own nothing. He was like, we live in these little shacks and we do this and that. And it's just sad, you know what I mean? And you think as a man, as a human, as a person, how do I look at that and kind of grow from that and make myself, my family better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that experience or just that conversation with that young man who to this day probably didn't know it impacted me that way, but I think I looked at that and was like, man, we just got to do better,
Especially just worldwide in general. How can you sit there and not want to make resources available for everybody?
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very valid, man. Very true. It's yeah.
How did you wind up with popcorn?
Popcorn, man. You talk to my girl, man. She'll tell you I love some popcorn, man.
What's your favorite?
Man, I used to make this thing called. So I had my place was called Pop Culture, right?
Right. So you had all kind of popcorn.
Oh man. So but the names were like, Kanye Western. You know what I mean? I was Mariah Carey male. You know what I mean? But Kanye Western, man, was a spicy cheese with a little bit of ranch in there. Man, I'd be concocting some stuff, boy. You come in there, I was loving some popcorn, man. I went out there and did the pitch because Walmart. People always ask me, hey, how did you get in Walmart?
That's what was my next question. How in the heck did you get into
Man,
Walmart?
it ain't that hard. People always ask me that. They're like it was like difficult. I'm like, it ain't that hard. You know what I mean? You mess around. They have every year they have like an open call, and you write in and you like, look, hey, I want to come out to y'all little Shark Tank, little thing, and pitch my idea. They're like, hey, it's your dime. Come on out. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got to pay for it, but
yeah. You go out there, they give you a table. Hey, this your spot. And you know what I mean? They all the buyers and stuff go by, and hey, this is the foodie guy. This is the salty guy. This is the guy that does so and so. They all come by and get the free food, and you sit out of this display, and you like, look, this is my popcorn. Tell me your story. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is why I love popcorn. This is what we're trying to do. This is how we package it. And they like, hey, let's do it. You know what I mean?
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's easy. It's not that people are always like, you're at Walmart. You don't want to downplay stuff like, ain't no big deal. But you're like, it ain't hard as you think it is. You know what I mean? It's really just, it's that determination. You're like, look, what I need to do.
Well, who told you about how to get into Walmart?
So, funny story. You remember Lamont Rucker?
Yeah.
So his agent, sister, his agent, Lamont was over. I was living in Virginia Beach, and Lamont went to Hampton to do a speech. So I sent a cat over to the speech with some popcorn in a bag.
You say, here you go.
Yeah. So my partner, and he a popcorn lover. So my partner took it over there, gave it to him, and then he was like, man, loving it. You know what I mean? Because I was concocting all kind of stuff. So then he was like, I think he reached out. He was like,
Really?
it was like, yo, I love that popcorn, man. And I was like, let's do some collab stuff. So he had his agent call me, and then we had a brand flavor called Lemon Man. It was like a Caribbean. I sent him like 4 or 5 flavors I concocted. He told me kind of what he liked.
Yeah.
So it was called Lemon Man, and then he liked it, and so he would go to speeches and stuff, and he would hand out little bags of Lemon Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how do you come up with I know he has a restaurant, but right now we're talking popcorn.
Yeah.
How do you come up with so many? I guess because popcorn comes out bland, it's easy to put a flavor on it, right?
Popcorn's like tofu, man. I mean,
Really? Whatever you put on is what's
you
going
put on it, man. So you go there like, I'm gonna put this and that on there. I'm gonna mix it with that. I mean, it was my love for a minute, man. I still like tonight when I got home, I'm making popcorn. I'm a popcorn dude.
Are you gonna bring popcorn into the restaurant?
I told my girl, man, I was like, look, we can get a popcorn maker in there, and hey, you go to some restaurants. Not appetize, like a free little, hey, welcome to the good spot. We'll put it on the table for you, some popcorn. Because popcorn is just a healthy snack, man. I just like it. And you can make it taste like anything.
So you plan to open up another restaurant? You say you're in the real estate too. So what else are you planning on doing? This can't be the only vision that you got.
So we've been open 7 months now. So like I said, right now, next to the restaurant, there's an open lot that I'm working on. The city just rezoned it for me, and we're doing duplexes there. So we're doing a couple of duplexes because that area is changing so much. So that's going up. I do the Airbnb thing, so I got properties downtown and some penthouse spots that I rent out for Airbnb. So we're doing that. So, the future of the restaurant, yesterday a cat hit me up about a new spot that he was trying, like, you should try to buy into this spot. They've been there for a while. They need a new vibe. So I'm like, yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? But, what I've learned through my time it's just you don't just tackle too much at one time. You know what I mean?
You must be reading my mind because I'm like, how many hats are you actually wearing?
Yeah. So you try to do a lot. Like I say, you got to always be ready for the worst case scenario, man. Like anybody that's doing business, man, you got to, like I said, I told you earlier off camera that, hey, if my cook, if you no call, no show 2 times in a row, hey, kick rocks, man. I'm in there cooking myself. So it ain't surprising to come in the restaurant and they're like, hey, this is a nice spot. Hey, who's the owner? Well, they're like, that cat back there in the kitchen. I'm like, hey, I'll give them the peace sign. Like, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm never gonna own something I can't do myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever. Hey, if it come down to it, man. And I learned that at an early age. Me and my brother owned a spot called H Brothers in Austin. Back at I was 18. We owned a place called H Brothers. And me, at the time, my wife, we had a vision on, hey, after hours when the club closed, ain't no restaurants open. So we was like, let's go ahead and open up our spot from like 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Get that after hour spot. This is back in the day. So we like, yeah. So I made all these flyers up. I got like 20, 100, 200, 300 flyers. I'm going to all the clubs, putting them on all the cars, the irritating flyers on the cars. I'm like, look, hey, when you leave this spot, come over here to H Brothers, So I told my cook at the time, like, dude, I need you to come here at 12:30, 12 o'clock, be ready for this crowd. I got you. I got you. I'm like, cool, that's what's up. So come, you know, I get there, you know, a little early. Cars pulling up. I'm like, what's up? Where my cook at?
You got your shelf set?
Hey, and at this time, I didn't know how to make nothing in the kitchen.
Really?
My mentality was different. So, you know, we sitting there, I'm like, waiting. People in the parking lot, they at the door. I'm like, I call him, he ain't answering. So I'm like, man. So I end up telling people in the parking lot, it's my fault, man. Y'all good. We ain't opening. So from that day forward, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to own something I can't do myself. You know what I mean?
But you know what? You might have just struck on something, because when I lived in Cleveland, everybody would always try to find that after the club place to go eat. We went to, I think it was a place there, I think Don King had a part ownership with it, and it was always packed.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, like always packed.
Yeah.
So, you've always been an entrepreneur. What part of entrepreneurship do you actually enjoy the most?
Man, I really enjoy the real estate portion of it. Like
Why
I
is
said,
that?
right now, you know, it's just like right now I'm doing a penthouse. I have a penthouse. I'm down at the block off the Circle that I'm getting ready for, because we got All-Star game coming here. We got Taylor Swift coming here. We got
You getting ready to give Taylor Swift a penthouse to live in?
I'm trying to hope so. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm trying to go ahead, because the hotels aren't plentiful downtown. So I'll tell anybody, I'm like, look, if you're trying to get into something, I've always kind of bought my places and renovated it, but there's money in finding spots that'll let you rent them and go ahead and make your money on it. So I think the furnishing it, you can see my garage right now at my house, man. I got, you know, couches and all kind of stuff in there. Like, I'm staging stuff. I'm stuff ready to go ahead and, hey, you give me a spot, I'm gonna go ahead and make it Gucci. You know what I mean? Because you come in there and it's like, look, hey, these hotels doing it. And I'm like, look, long as Indianapolis is still allowing us to go ahead and make it happen, hey, do it.
Yeah, you like Indianapolis, I can tell. You don't want to go back to Michigan, do you?
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely not Michigan. Hey, I'm hoping. Last year, I moved here last year, man. I bought me first thing I bought was a big old snowblower. I was like,
we don't get that much snow.
My neighbor was like, you ready? I'm like, man, it's in my shed. And I'm like, hey, so last year we didn't get it, so hopefully this year, but I'm ready. You know what I mean? So
What do you, let me put this where it makes sense. You've been in business 7 months.
Yeah.
Naturally, you're going to keep growing.
Hope so.
What do you need from us as far as support?
Man, you know, it's just getting the word out. You know, I think, you know, when it comes to any business, I was kind of telling you off camera about different people that come to town and review stuff. You know, there's some people that come in different restaurants. You know, I think everybody who opens a restaurant has this vision of doing great things. You know what I mean? You know, myself, people that's doing a thing. But, you know, sometimes I think we as restaurateurs can fail at times, you know what I mean, and not live up to people's expectations. And it's like, look, understand that my intent is to give you the best food possible. Right. My intent is that you come in this joint and you having a good time. That's why we're in a good spot, you know. And I think, you know, what you guys can do is just get the word out. Hey, come by, check us out, give us a shot. You know what I mean? Again, we're not Chick-fil-A, you know, but we'll try to give you that Chick-fil-A customer service. You know what I mean? We're trying to give you that. Hey, you know, if my bartender ain't, you know, friendly enough for you, you know.
If he don't know your name.
Yeah. If you know your name, it's a problem. After the third trip. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just, sometimes, man, you just never know the impact you put on people. Sometimes somebody come in your spot and you're like, look, you know, they might be having a bad day, but, you know, they might need that little listening ear, or they want to tell you a story about their little granddaughter that's doing her thing. You're like, man, come on, hey, tell me.
That happened to me and my buddy. We went into, I won't mention the restaurant here, but somebody had raved about it. Yeah. And I went. I said, hey, man, let's go to this restaurant. And we went, and it wasn't crowded. So we went to get a to-go order, and the girl behind the bar where we was waiting on our food was really rude, really rude. Yeah. And my buddy was like, hey, you know, fuck it, let's go. I said, no, we already got our food in, you know, but she had like, she didn't want to take the order. She was like really rude. And I felt bad because he had never been to the restaurant. It was recommended for me to go. Yeah. So I feel bad because it'd be like me saying, hey, dude, come and go to the good spot. You know, and I'm raving on it. Yeah. And we get there, and I mean, it was just straight up horrible service. But I
Yeah.
realize people have a bad day.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, but I felt bad for my buddy.
Yeah.
Because I'm boasting about the place. So long story short, I called the next day and I told the manager. And first of all, I told him, I said, you never know who might walk into your restaurant.
Never
So
know.
when I told who he was, and he was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But he knew who the person was.
Yeah.
He said, this isn't the first complaint we had
Yeah.
on that person.
Yeah.
And my instinct was, well, if you got 2 complaints and this is the third, she should have been gone
Yeah.
automatically. But what he did was he compensated by mailing out, I think it was like $150 gift certificate.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. So with that said, how can the viewers reach you, contact you, and come and try this delicious food, which we're going to have after we get off the camera?
Yeah. So we had 2023 Southeastern. So it's the outskirts of Fountain Square. So Fountain Square is spreading a little bit, but we're at 2023 Southeastern, not too far from the new Justice Center. Our website is indiegoodspot.com. We're on Instagram. It's Good Spot 2023, which is also the year and as well as our address. We're on Facebook, the Good Spot Restaurant. So, we try to get out there, working on a guy to redesign our website and get more, you got to get up to times. He's doing more social media posts and things like that. But again, phone number is 317-943-9111. At 9111, it's emergency. You got to get there.
When is family night out there? Because you do a lot of family events.
We do. So Saturday we're trying to do a game night. We got a bunch of games and stuff like that. But what I'm probably within the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna start doing Family Feud. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Family Feud fan, so I'm gonna try to tell folks.
I gotta be on there.
Oh, yeah,
Who's
yeah.
the host?
Yeah. So we got a host that's doing our trivia night. We do trivia on Tuesdays. So we have a host that's doing our trivia night. But hey, she might be losing it. Hey, you interested? But the idea is that we do get teams of 5 together. You know what I mean? Get your Family Feud on. We'd probably do 2 games, so 4 teams per night. Maybe a Saturday night, you know what I mean? So you get 3 and your girlfriends together, your family together, your cousins or whatever.
That would be so
You
cool.
come out, you know what I mean, a little host, you get your little drink on a little bit, a little food, but then people watch, you know what I mean? So we do that, and then the team that wins, we bring them back. So I think,
Oh, man,
yeah,
I'm in.
yeah, you want fun stuff like that, man. You want something that people are like, man, that's what's up. We had a good time, we laughed, we had a good time with no drama. And that's my biggest thing is I travel the world, man, and go places. I'm like, I just want no drama. You know what I mean? I want to come in and get your drink on. Don't drink too much. Drink enough that you feeling good and you laugh and you have a good time and you go home.
Now, I noticed that you did say something about you just don't want a bar atmosphere. You can bring your kids to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids friendly. Yep. So we have a separate little bar area, but you kids friendly. People call all the time, like, can I bring my kid up there? And I'm like, hey, bring them. You know what I mean? So we got games. You got kids in there playing a little Jenga games, and it's just a cool.
That's why it's called the Good Spot.
The Good Spot, man. Hey, it's just a good spot.
What you gonna have for the NFL? Because I gotta have a place to go hang out.
Yeah. So we're trying to
for
get
sports in general.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of TVs on the wall, like everywhere else, and we're trying to get Sundays and Mondays open for football. Again, it's really. We're working to that. We were open 7 days a week before, and it's just the labor. We're constantly trying to find good people. You know what I mean? That's when our thing is you got to have good people that
You just don't want anybody working and anybody representing your brand.
Exactly. 'Cause I can't be there 7 days a week, obviously.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'll say I'll jump in the kitchen and do it, but I'm human. I got to get some rest.
You
know
got
what I
too
mean?
many hats anyway.
Yeah. So I'm like so yesterday, somebody was like, you open tomorrow? We'll be here tomorrow. You hear that a lot. People come and they like, man, we coming tomorrow. And I'm like, you can't come tomorrow because we ain't open. But I'm like, hey, so we working on it. You know what I mean? And maybe, like I said, not too much at once. Maybe it ain't this year, but maybe next year. We're big on Sunday and Monday for football.
All right.
Yeah.
Leave the viewers with something that you say to yourself every day to keep you going, because believe me, you got it going on. And I'm telling the viewers now, the Andre The Beast Crayton show, we like to highlight that beast frame of mind.
Yeah.
Individuals that are doing something, making an impact. And if you notice, he says that what he's trying to do is bring something to the people of this state, of this city. Support. Get out there and support support individuals, support the business, support the dream, and start playing it forward. We need the love. Leave the viewers with something good.
Man, I mean, it's a good spot. I'm all about good people. You know what I mean? I think it starts with just being good people. You know what I mean? And I think you start with that, it just spreads. You know what I mean? We got bad days here and there, but at the end of the day, if you're a good person, man, that just spreads. You know what I mean? You go, regardless of race, regardless of background, regardless of anything. You're a good person, man. I think it just, hey, that's what we want to be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you just want to be good, man. You want to be like, look, when you say, hey, I know Omar, you're like, that's a good dude. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to that, hey, I'm a good dude. I'm giving you good food and good drinks. You know what I mean? And a good place to come back and chill out and kind of let go of some of the stresses of the world. You know what I mean? Just hey, be a good person, man. I don't know how to say it. Just be good, man. Just be good.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, go to the good spot. Indiana's best restaurant. Tell them the Andre The Beast Crayton show. Ask for Omar.
Definitely.
He's going to have some popcorn in there for you, too.
I'm telling you, hey, that's going to happen. I'm a popcorn fanatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton show.